in District 1, Chris G. Question needs to be addressed to all the candidates.
Hi, my name is Chris Provakas. I'm in District 1. My question is in regards to the Charter Commission. The Charter Commission recently voted 3-2 to allow City Council to decide to take over any current county service, such as fire, sewage, whatever services the county is currently providing. In the future, by a vote of 3-2, the city can decide to take that over. We would like the city to vote on this in the future. We're not saying we're against the city taking it over, but I think it's important for the city to debate and have a citywide vote on whether we take over fire, sewage. How do you feel about revising the charter to require a city vote on this in the future?
Great question. You got to remember the city council had no part in the charter commission, and that process went from the charter commission and goes to the state legislature for implementation. I kind of look at it as whatever the legislature determines is the best model for Dunwoody, we'll follow. I have made a point to not come to the charter commission meetings because I want that process to be outside of the council that's out there. I thought the Charter Commission did a wonderful job. They've made some recommendations up to the state legislature, and I certainly don't want to influence them in their decisions that are out there. But I will say this, whatever the state legislature determines our charter should be, I will absolutely follow.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson.
The legislature obviously is going to have a lot more say in this than us. For me personally, I think that we need to focus on the school system and not the fire service. We're a young city and we need to not get into trying to solve too many problems at one time, especially problems that may not exist. I think we all agree that there's a problem with school systems here in Dunwoody. I guess what it comes down to for us is we're going to have to talk to Tom Taylor and Fran Miller and voice our concerns on that. I personally don't think we need a fire service need a change in the fire service right now. But I don't know that there's anything we can do because the Charter Commission is just a recommendation to the state legislature, and they're ultimately going to be the ones that make changes to the charter.
Mr. Davis, your opportunity to respond.
Well, the Charter Commission is out of our scope, so what we need to do is to accept the recommendation and put that in effect. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Mr. Shelton.
I am against anything that affects the whole city, and the city doesn't get to vote on it. So it's true, the Charter Commission will now go for the DeKalb delegation, then it goes to the legislature. So if you lobby your legislators and let them know how you feel, I'm sure they're going to listen to it. But the other thing is, it's back to why are they doing this? And I would suggest to you that they're already irritated with the fact that all of the people are, not all, but many of the people have gotten up in arms. If my understanding is correct, and we make it, or I make it on the council, you don't have to wait 5 years for the charter to be amended again. So I would push forward and try to get a charter, if that does get accepted, get a charter amendment that changes it back to what it should be. And that is, you bring a service over, it's going to affect everyone, we vote on it.
think I'm appreciative actually of the Charter Commission's work. They did a fantastic job. I think I saw Max Lehman here earlier, who was chair of that, and it was highly attended. A lot of discussions came out of it. Once again, it's just recommendations. What happens at that point is it goes to Tom and Fran, and they take it down to the legislature. At that point, it's their job to get it to go through. Regarding fire, I was in the Dunwoody tornado back in 1998. I lost my home, totally destroyed, second floor. My wife and I were expecting our first child. The Cab Fire came out for like 2 weeks straight, did a fantastic job. They like put tarps over roofs. They were just working diligently and fantastically. At the same time, I lived on the street on Houghton Court where the lady died in the fire because the fire truck, the people didn't get out of the fire truck. Well, I think what we're talking about is level of service. Can we get a better level of service? Looking into it is not a problem. I think that's what we need to do, is do a feasibility study and look into it. It should not have to go out to a vote, because not everybody's going to look into the feasibility study. You want leaders to look into the feasibility study. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Westcott. Mr. Westcott.
Would have liked to have seen a little bit better than a 3-2 vote on a commission review, but that's what we have right now, and that's what's before us. And I think, and I say that not as a slam to the commission, but I would have liked to have seen a little bit more unity on the recommendations going forward. But for me, I think, it is important for the city to get a say on major issues, on major changes, on anything large coming through our city council, whether it's a tax adjustment of some sort, or if it's adding a service, but especially if we're going to be entering into a service agreement with another or multiple other communities where our service could possibly be downgraded from our existing service right now or something like that. I think the city should have a right to have a say in that. And I'm not at all saying that's exactly what the motivation is behind this, but I think on large issues where there's definitely a lot of feedback from the community, I think it's important to put these type of ballot initiatives out there so that the citizens can speak, can see exactly where they sit on these various different issues, and ultimately let them have the final say as we go forward with taking on either additional services or restructuring existing services.
Mr. Wright.
I am in favor of any major change in the services provided by the city going before a vote of the people and not just going through the council. Obviously, normal government business needs to be going through the council, but this goes well beyond normal government business, and any plan being proposed needs the scrutiny of the electorate. And this is the fire service is the definition of a major change in my estimation. Plain and simple. The current plan that's been thrown out there before the people is that Dunwoody would fund close to 50% of the capital cost of standing up a new multi-city fire service, but only have 1/4 of the board members. So, that seems a little bit shaky just to start out with. So we need some real scrutiny of this. It shouldn't just be something that can go through the council, in a 4-3 vote, and bam, we're taking over fire service and taking on enormous new obligations. Thanks.